Titus, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to say your last name correctly. Would you do that for me, please?
Sure, yeah, Titus Bartolotta.
So Titus, what are you speaking at the event about?
Sure, yeah. I'm going to talk about something that's extraordinarily important to me, and that's servant leadership. Dave's going to educate everybody about how there's lots of different levels to leadership and ways to get into it. But for me, servant leadership was my first entryway into leading others, and it speaks to my heart in such a big way.
You know, it is the one thing that is endearing about you is that you've been on the show before. We've known each other, and you and your wife started a foundation. And I tell people this often, it is remarkable to see you guys start a foundation. Normally when I hear about foundation, I think these are multimillionaires coming up with some way to serve the community. And you guys did it with 2 dimes and a prayer. Talk just a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, thank you for letting me. My wife Christina and I, about 3.5 years ago, we found out something that devastated us emotionally and spiritually. We found out that Mecklenburg County wasn't rated very well for a statistic of if you start off in poverty, you die in that same poverty. And we just thought we lived in a community that had about as many churches and charities per capita as anywhere else. And we just said, why? And it didn't make sense. And my wife, who was born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina, I came here from New York, but I was about 7 years old, so the Carolinas is home. We have broken that statistic. We are certainly far from independently wealthy, but we are comfortable enough to enjoy a meal and have a wonderful home to live in. And we just were frustrated with this true fact in our community. And so we decided to pray, and we were moved by the Spirit of the Lord to do something bigger and do something more. And so we said, let's start a charitable foundation. And, my wife said, well, what are we going to call it? And I said, well, we'll call it the Lotta Foundation because I just want to do a lot of good. That's all I care about. I remember when one sandwich was a lot of food. I remember when one toy brought me a lot of joy, and it changed my life. There were moments that people planted seeds of love and hope in my world, and I don't think they quite knew that those seeds would grow into trees that would end up to be bigger than my problems, but they did. And so if it wasn't for moments of just random kindness that reminded me, and I'm sorry if this is brash, but it reminded me that not everyone sucks, okay? Yeah. And that means that I don't have to. And it changed my world as a young person.
You can say whatever you want, because any penalties we get from the FC, I'm going to blame it on Wes. Go right ahead.
Yeah, so we just, we thought we could do more. We thought we could be more. And what I love about the word Lotta is there's no finish line, Joe. When people ask me all the time, how many toys do you want to raise? How many kids do you want to feed? How much good do you want to do? And I tell them a lot of good. And they go, well, how much is that? I go, I'll let you know. Okay, just keep supporting us, keep donating your time, keep loving what we're doing, and let's keep helping people.
And now, Dave, if you could talk about I think, and I want to get Titus in on the conversation because I know Bill, I know Titus, and I've just met with Heidi, and of course, Dave, I've known you for years. Dave actually was one of our first speakers, Bill, if you remember correctly, at the small business event. This group you put together, right, is such a unique, eclectic group that there's no way that you're not going to connect in some way, Dave, to this event.